What's up, Sooner Thirds viewers? This is Thunder Live. It's been a while, guys, since we've had one of these, but the playoffs are upon us. Oklahoma City makes a statement to the rest of the NBA today with the 131-80. Yeah, let me repeat that. 131-80 victory over Memphis. An absolute beatdown. Anyone watching this game that's in the NBA has got to think, this team is unbelievable. Guys, SGA didn't play well. 37 assists today. Largest margin of victory in a game one in the history of the NBA. We can go on and on about play after play that this team made. The amount of extra passes they made was awesome. And then, the bench, if the bench plays like this, they may run the whole thing, the whole gamut. They may not lose a game if the bench plays.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I said it, Jay.
Jerm, I mean, this was a blowout today. That's what it was. But I'm not going that far thinking they're going to run the table without losing the game.
I said if the bench plays this well, Jay.
Hey, here's a couple of things. Is one, you hear a lot of people saying, and even the Thunder players, a couple of them said, it's going to be a different game next game because Memphis was coming off the play-in game. So, but at the same time, I was kind of interested to see how the Thunder would come out because they had had so much time off. And sometimes you come out sluggish with that. There was no sluggish in this at all. They played 13 guys, as DAntoni said. All of them had at least one assist, except for Dylan Jones. And by the way, I know during the game, Jeremy, you were texting back and forth saying, where's Wiggins? They were playing A.J. Mitchell. I mean, this was a game that got plenty of players in there.
Yeah. Wiggins came in and made a huge impact early.
Hey, here's what I got to say is if the next game is a 20-point win or more, so the series over. I mean, I think Memphis.
The series is already over.
Memphis needs to come back. I'm saying over.
Memphis is not going to hang with OKC.
I'm saying a sweep, Jerm.
I think we've talked about it all year long. The depth of this team, the bench that they have, we have not seen them very many times this season with their full complementary of players. Whenever you saw that today, whenever they were actually playing for games that matter at this point in the season, the last 20 games of the season, really, they still meant something, but they already had the first seed locked up and everything. So now it's just the Thunder, they were able to play for, a championship now, get that started, and they dominated. Aaron Wiggins, as you guys said. Jeremy, I thought Aaron Wiggins, he continues to just have he continues to get hot at just the times whenever the Thunder kind of need it most, because they were up by 15-20, and then Aaron Wiggins came in the game and got hot, and that just absolutely completely blew the doors off the game.
Yeah, and hey,
you guys, and I just have to say one more thing. The NBA, if somebody sees this, send this clip to Adam Silver, please. The NBA leaving Lou Dort off the Defensive Player of the Year finalist conversation is horrible. Mark Daigneault off the Coach of the Year finalist list is horrible.
I think they might have seen that list.
Who was the finalist for the defensive?
Draymond, Dyson Daniels, and Evan Mobley.
Well, my problem is the same way with the defense. They always leave guards off there, I think.
Dyson Daniels is their shooting guard for them.
He gets about eight boards and 10 assists a game.
The best play, the iconic today, the play that just kind of was the thing today was when Ja Morant kind of got a little bit of a fake in on Dort. Dort fell to the ground, recovered, and still blocked the ball. I mean, are you kidding me?
It was unbelievable.
Hey, real quick, the one stat, the assist, 36 assists for OKC. I think 15 maybe for Memphis. The Thunder out-rebounded Memphis. Overall, just dynamite game. As Brandon says, can only be a letdown from here. I mean, winning by 51 points.
SGA was blocking Zach Edey. I mean, and just all over the place. Hey, I said this to you guys during the game. Listen, OKC is going to get wide open look after wide open look every game they play because they have way too many guys who can just get downhill. SGA, I agree with DAntoni. SGA's got to pass a little better. I mean, Chet was wide open. I mean, they're going to have wide open guys. That's the way this team is. Hartenstein does so much for this team with screening and passing and The ball movement is something, I've said this before. It's like the San Antonio Spurs back in the day with Ginobili, Parker, Duncan. That's what this team is like.
Hey, real quick. One thing I want to mention is you hear this a lot, and I think I've even said it before about how young the Thunder is, and it's hard being this young of a team. I'm sitting here watching the NBA playoffs, and I watched Denver Clippers yesterday afternoon. That game was a physical game, went to overtime. You're going to have Denver, Clippers, some of these teams playing probably in a 6-7 game series. Lakers. These teams are a lot older than the Thunder. Thunder need to use their young legs to their advantage. I know they're young, and people say you got to have experience that helps you. Use your young legs to advantage. Just run people out of the gym. I mean, when you're that deep and that young, and you have time to recover. I mean, look at it today. 26 minutes for Shai, or 23 minutes, 21 for Chet, 20 for Hartenstein. I mean, they didn't have to play guys very many minutes either. So,
and I think the 2023 NBA draft class that Sam Presti got is special. JDub, Chet Holmgren, and Jay Will, all three were in that draft class.
Oh, it was massive.
That is, you talk about a foundation building draft class. They already had Shai on the team, but that and what those two guys did today, Chet and JDub, special games. I know this is something we've talked about all year. For the Thunder to go super far in the playoffs, JDub and Chet are going to have to be the second and third options that are just going to be awesome for the Thunder. They did that today. And Dort, if he can continue to hit threes at this rate, I don't expect him to shoot 60-70% from three throughout the games. But we've seen him every year get better from three, and he's always been good in the playoffs for the Thunder. So now I think this is a Thunder team that right now, in my opinion, it doesn't change. My opinion hasn't changed. I think they're the best team in the NBA. They were, and I think they're the best team in the playoffs. Do they have the most experience? No, but I do think that this is a team that, for no reason, should not make the NBA Finals out of the West.
Yeah, hey, we're going to open the phone lines here in a minute, but I love this question from Cullen. Who would OKC rather see in round two?
Clippers.
And also, who would you in the chat? Well, who would you in the chat like to see in round two? I think OKC would probably rather see the Clippers.
Absolutely. They don't have the superstar like Denver has.
Yeah, they do have the big guy, but I think Thunder would be
Zubac?
Yeah.
Jay, it's fine.
Hey, Zubac is good. He's
really good.
Hey, the Clippers, number one team last 22 games in offense. Number one team in the NBA.
A lot of people were really scared of the Lakers. Minnesota's the worst matchup for the Thunder.
Minnesota is,
OKC is struggling, but that's we're counting. We're talking way down the road. Listen, today, OKC without SGA on the court, the second quarter was where it happened. I mean, it was absolute just like we said earlier, beat down. They ran the ball. They had 3 or 4 dunks in a row. Okay, Casey Wallace took one full length of the court, 3 guys, and just rimmed them up.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
Great point, Austin. Great point there. The other. Go ahead, Jackson.
Oh, I was going to say one thing that I think teams are going to struggle with when it comes to facing the Thunder is if they're going to constantly play drop coverage on Shai. Hart is going to have that little floater all game long and score 14 to 20 every single game in the playoffs. The teams are going to give him that shot. That's automatic. That's a shot. And now Zach Edey can't really move and drop coverage. He's kind of stone feet. I mean, he's not very athletic, just big. But the Thunder, and if Shai's, I'm going to say this right now, Shai's not going to play this bad again in the playoff game. He did not play good.
No.
And I think with Shai playing this awful, the Thunder to win by, what was it, 51 points or whatever it was? I mean, just incredible. Maybe the greatest playoff performance you've ever seen from a single team in the 21st century.
Hey, and you know what? Desmond Bain today, did you see his plus minus?
No.
51, minus 51.
Oh, that's horrible.
Hey, listen, do you agree or disagree? The Thunder's second team would be a playoff team.
It would be on the verge, Jay. Look, you know what's so great? I look at the stat. I look at the stats real early in the game. Caruso's already got 3 boards, 4 assists. I mean, He doesn't. Here's the deal: the Thunder have so many players that don't even care to score. They have the perfect amount of role players. They have the perfect amount of youth versus old guys. I think that there's no weakness. Now, I will say this. I thought Chet at times today got pushed around down low. I'm just going to say it. He got pushed around a little bit down low. He had great numbers. I mean, great game overall. I thought he got pushed around a little bit down low. The Thunder were really good at limiting turnovers and causing turnovers. They didn't have a lot on their own end. They caused some. You are right. They can create a miss really against anyone.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, you want to open the phone lines up?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll drop the link in there.
I got it. I got it right here.
Okay.
It's coming in right now. There it is.
Yeah.
Check it out right there. Boom. Call in if you'd like to give us your thoughts on the game today. I saw Benjamin. Benjamin was at the game, said great crowd. I saw another person on Twitter say they were at the game. TV does not do it justice with how loud it was in the arena.
Hey, I'm going to be there for game 2, guys. I think I'll get a chance to let you guys know about the crowd and how it's going to be, but I'm expecting a hostile.
Tuesday night.
Sure.
Tuesday night. Yep. Hey, Jay, Sam Presti at one point went, he's so smart.
I know.
Talking about Chet's extra pass. Listen,
yeah, I saw
we saw Sam Presti as much as Michael Phelps' mom in the Olympics that one year. Like Sam Presti, his stock continues to rise. The greatness he is. We got Platoon 20 on the line.
What's up, Platoon?
Hey guys, what's up? I was obviously very surprised. I have to admit, from the past, I was a little bit of a Thunder skeptic just because them being so young. I just figured I didn't know if their intensity level was going to rise, but it certainly did today. There's only one thing I see that we need help with in order to do a championship, and that's we need Shai to pass better out of double teams because that's coming, and I feel like he needs to be a little bit better with that because he can pass out of it, but I just feel like he's not nearly as good as some of the other guys in the league are at early recognition of those old teams. He's not like Jokic, where Jokic will always make a good pass when he's double teamed, and I feel like if we get that to our game, then I definitely think we can win the whole thing. But that's one thing I still have a little bit concerned about.
I've got a perfect example. I've got a perfect example from today's game, Platoon 20, because I texted, I think Jay.
I know what you're going to say.
Well, the one I'm talking about is SJ drives all the way down to the middle to the block. Chet Holmgren is at the top of the key, standing wide open. There was another time SJ gets the block. Wiggins is in the corner wide open for 3. Both times he could have made the pass. Now, the next time down the floor, he got right past the free throw line and turned back and dumped it to Chet for a 3. Those are just driving. You're also talking about when they're doubling from the top. He sometimes doesn't make the bounce pass or the correct pass. I agree with Platoon.
Hey, and thanks for the call, Platoon. We appreciate it. Hey, one thing though, I agree with Platoon on that, and I also want to say this: the other caveat here is, if you go back to last year against Dallas, if the Thunder have a series where Shai does pass out of it and they can't make threes, now I think this team's a lot better shooting.
Better shooters this year.
They are, but if they go, because there will be teams that will prevent them from getting in the lane. And there will be teams out there that do it because they have 2 bigs that can protect the rim. And that's where I think you're going to have to knock down the threes and make the extra pass. So let's get to Colin. Colin, you're on the line.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Colin?
What's up, Colin?
But yeah, that game was just amazing from start to finish. Right. And I think that's going to have to be a key with, like you guys said, the young team is kind of, for the older teams, it's kind of, they have to get the train on the track and then start picking up. And if we can just keep up full speed ahead at the start, I think we have a chance to go all the way. And then I said it earlier, but everyone was always talking about the whistle and how it gets title, and SGA won't be able to do that. But they also don't realize on the other end how physical the defense is going to be allowed to play. And I think I saw the stat that Memphis coming in, I was averaging 117 points a game, and they could barely break 80 game 1. So
yeah,
the defense is for real. I mean, it travels no matter where you play at. Defense travels. That's what they got on their side.
But yeah, I think this will be a pretty easy sweep for Thunder.
Should
or
be.
I'll say 5 at the latest. I think Memphis.
Who do you want to see though?
Who
do you want to see next round, Colin?
Probably Nuggets. just to get them out of the way, and I think we can match up well against them.
Yeah, I think both teams, Clipper and Nuggets, will be kind of physically drained after I think this series is going to go 6 or 7. I really do.
As I said in the comments, I feel like the difference from last year's playoff team and this year, but of course, besides experience, is that this go around we're making our wide open shots, and you can see that factor of like winning by 50, because we just are making that extra pass and knocking down the shots and just out rebounding, out hustling, out toughing everyone on the court.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to continue. It's gonna have to continue.
And I think something that I maybe necessarily wasn't such a big fan of is Isaiah Joe. He got some good looks. He couldn't hit them last year in the playoffs, especially in the second round series with Dallas. It was an issue. I'm not saying it's going to be an issue this year in the playoffs, but Isaiah Joe, if he's going to get the open looks, he's got to be able to hit them.
But if he doesn't hit them, they got dudes. They could go more Wallace. They could go more Wiggins.
Isaiah Joe in the regular season was an over 40% 3-point shooter.
Oh, I agree. You go.
So for him in the playoffs to plateau down to even the under 30%, that's I mean, teams learn to help off him then because he's not hitting his threes.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Colin.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Hey, Benjamin Banner's got 2 good points I want to make. I want to bring up. One, we will match up with anyone not named PJ Washington. Well, I like that. And the other one is this Dagnall statement. Listen to me. Listen, guys. I watched today, and there have been times in the past where I thought, just from an outsider, that Mark Dagnall maybe doesn't get on the players enough. Those days are over. There was a time tonight, I think OKC was up 43, and he was yelling about the spacing. And he's like, come on, get your spacing right. Like, he was visibly upset. Mark Dagnall is unbelievable.
Oh, he's great. And Platone, my son says the same thing. He wants the best teams. He wants them to make a run through everybody, to make statements and say they are the team of now and for the next few years. One thing I want to mention is Arkansas Jalen. If he played more, like you can't with what they got with Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein, but if he was on a different team, I think he'd be putting out some triple doubles quite a bit. I think he's really. I see he's not Draymond Green at all, but he's got similarities in his game.
Very much so.
Right.
He does.
Hey, Thunder OU Sooner. We will be on at 9:30 for our normal live show, and I'm sure it's going to be lively.
It's going to be all about David Stone.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and then somebody asked earlier where I'm sitting. I want to say it's like section 307, maybe. I'm not sure, though. I don't remember exactly, but I'm excited for the
Are you going to wear a shirt?
Of course. Are you kidding?
I think the only guy who shouldn't wear the shirt is the guy behind the basket for the free throw.
Did you guys see
not allow him to wear a shirt?
Fan that was sitting on the court that was getting drilled by Thunder fans on Twitter today about not wearing a shirt?
Yeah, you got to wear it. You got to wear it.
Great.
Oh, of course. I'm not going to be that one guy that doesn't wear a shirt.
And this is right, Austin. In order to beat OKC, multiple players are going to have a bad night in multiple games. When you only lose about 14 games on the entire season, you got to lose 4 out of 7. It's going to be a very tall task.
But Jeremy, same thing was said last year against Dallas. Dallas can't keep making these shots. Dallas can't keep. They're going to go cold. Thunder won't have 2 guys not hitting shots, and it did happen. So I know this team's different than that team. When you had Caruso, when you have iHeart, it's a totally different team. I get it. With
Dallas last year, it was one dude that was killing the Thunder, PJ Washington.
Hey, listen, there's a guy that we really have. There's a guy we really haven't talked enough about right now. He had 20 points today, like 25 and 6. JDub was phenomenal today.
He's going to have to be that way.
JDub was in attack mode from the beginning, from the onset. Like Chief T-Bird says, these guys were sharing. The ball was watching the game. Me and my sons and I were like, heads on a swivel. The ball was moving so fast. You're not going to beat the Thunder when they're playing like that. You're
Well,
not going to beat them.
hey, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask a question for you guys.
I disagree with this Steelerman, but
I'm going to ask you a question, and it has to do with JDub, because I said this a few weeks ago. If the Thunder want to win a championship this year, you got to have Shai and one other guy dominate through the playoffs, and it's going to have to be JDub. That's what I said. Now, here's my question. Name the last NBA champion that didn't have a duo, like a consistent duo. You got to have two, man. You got to have two.
the Bucks when they won the championship with Giannis versus the Suns.
Middleton.
But he wasn't consistent.
That year, he absolutely was. He was an all-star. Hey,
No.
hey, Jay.
Murray and Jokic. I mean, I would consider them a duo.
Jay and Jackson.
Yeah.
Go back to the comment. I just had it up there. It was bringing up a point that I was really wanting to get to about Hartenstein, but to me, so undervalued and appreciated. To me, Isaiah Hartenstein is a much better Kendrick Perkins. He brings the same kind of attitude. He's a dog. He sets massive screens. He's a much better. He's Bloody Divac, and Kendrick Perkins with the teardrop of a Trae Young in the middle of the lane. The guy's phenomenal.
He's been, I mean, such a great pickup. I mean, you can't talk about it enough, the pickup he was. And, hey, Austin, I don't hate this question. I like it. 2025 OKC beats 2012 OKC.
Oh, 2025 OKC.
Think about this. Think about this, guys. You got Ibaka.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Hartenstein and Chet. I mean, I don't think there's a comparison. I liked Ibaka, didn't you, Jackson?
Oh yeah, Serge Ibaka was awesome.
But
there's a video I saw on TikTok. I want to say, I know this is off topic, but about Serge Ibaka, and he was the reason why OKC is so good right now, because his trade was a domino effect. So many other things that started happening. So it was really interesting thing that I saw. But
right now, who would you take, Shai or KD in that matchup?
Wait, KD when he was on the Thunder?
Yeah, so 2025. So you got Dort guarding who? Durant?
2025 Shai.
You got Dort on Durant?
Oh, no. Dort guards Russ. I put Chet on Durant.
Oh, I don't even know why we're discussing that.
Because it's fun topic.
Right. Chet. Am I wrong about Chet on Durant?
You know what you do with that team, though? Everybody stands away from Andre Robertson.
Oh, well,
Jay, everyone is standing away from Isaiah Hartenstein. When Hartenstein catches the ball, they drop 10 feet off him. It's just the difference is he's a great passer, and when they come around to get the ball, he uses his hip and his body so well. Unbelievable.
And question for the chat. You cannot say SGA. You cannot say JDub. You cannot say Chet. Give me the one guy on this team throughout the playoffs that's going to be like the X factor. You can't say one of those top three.
I've already got it.
Who'd you say?
It's Lou Dort.
You think Dort?
Defensively, and I like the answer of Wiggins too with NIL commission. I love Wiggins, but I mean, Dort's got to defend, and he's got to be a guy who hits the three when he's open.
Greg got says Jay will.
I was going to say Alex Caruso.
That's another one.
And
that's such a hard question, Jay.
That's my point. I wanted to ask it because I knew there would be 4 or 5 different answers. That's the depth of this team, guys. That's how deep this team is. You could literally say 5 or 6 guys. I could say iHeart. I could say Dort. I could say Wiggins. I could say, you could go down the list. So the bench is amazing pretty much. That's right.
And I think we haven't yet. It's only been one game. We haven't got to see how this Thunder team is going to respond when they face some adversity in the playoffs. And I'm hoping that they get that when they go on the road to Memphis. Maybe if they get down early by double digits, just because the Grizzlies, they're at home, they come out hot. Obviously, they're playing for their lives. But I want to see how this team's going to respond, because you've heard Shai and Chet say it all year long, JDub, we're going to be a team We know the adversity is going to hit. We're going to take it one play at a time when that comes. Now, is that truly how it's going to be? Because last year we saw at times where you just saw JDub, he would start to drive downhill out of control in the playoffs, and Shai would start to force some tough shots. So this year is going to be more of a controlled response to the adversity whenever they face it.
That's the maturity. That's the maturity of this team. Driving and being able to dish the ball out. Trust in your teammates. The offense really a well-oiled machine. All those things equal more success, equal higher shooting percentages, equal less turnovers. All those things.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask all this. I probably am of the side that it would disagree with you guys on this, but I think Lou Dort, I know it's 4 of 8 from 3 today. I think 8 is too many threes for him.
I agree.
You agree or disagree?
I agree.
I disagree if the looks are what they are today. He had 3 on one possession on a fast break. So like
I just don't love him shooting 8 threes, but that's just me.
If they're wide open, I shoot him every time.
Hey, if you're a coach, are you going to send that extra guy to clog up the lane to stop Shai from driving and let Dort shoot threes? Yes.
Right now, I'm telling you, if I'm the coach against Thunder, I am not letting Shai go one-on-one and beat me. I am doubling him and picking my poison, letting guys make shots. If they do, they beat you. I'm just that's the way I've always been a firm believer in that. If you go shut down their best player, make other guys step up consistently, it's not a 1-game deal. It's 7 games or 4 games, whatever. You have to win 4 games. So you're going to have those role players step up consistently. So
to me, Isaiah Hartenstein's the Dennis Rodman of the Thunder, not Lou Dort. It's Hartenstein. Right. He doesn't ever care about scoring. He's just going to rebound.
They got a lot of guys like that.
They got a lot of guys. Yeah. We got Tone back. What's up?
Hey, there was one thing I forgot to mention. There's one other thing that worries me a little bit is, obviously a lot of our games have been through the regular season have been blowouts. But when you look at the close ones, our record in the close games is not great. It's okay. I think we're even like 9-9 or something like that. But in one possession games in the last few minutes, I have to look at it again. But I think we have a losing record on those. So I think that's part of our youth. I think when it comes down to crunch time, when it's like, less than 1 minute left, experience really makes a big difference. If you're, up by 1 or down by 1 or whatever, that's still something we need to see in the playoffs that we didn't see last year. So, it's hard to tell because our regular season was so dominant. We didn't have very many of those games, but when we did have those games, I think we were a little bit subpar on that part of it.
Great point.
I know people won't like this comparison because it's NBA to college basketball. There was a team in college basketball that was like that. It was the Duke Blue Devils. They were not tested at all. And then when they did, they kind of choked it. I hope that's not the case. I think Mark Daigneault has a lot of experience. You got to keep the ball. You got to hope that the team of 2025 doesn't revert back to the Thunder back in 2012 when it was hero ball. I don't think this team will do that.
No. And, if I had to use one thing to counter that with what Platoon 20 said, I'm going with just one simple phrase. ShaiGilgeous-Alexander. I think he is one of the best players, if not the best player in the clutch in the NBA. He has been the last few years. And if you need a bucket and if you need a guy to go and hit you a tough shot, there's not many players taken in the NBA over Shai. I mean, I would
agree with you there. I would agree.
I just see with this comparison for Hartenstein here by Austin, Hartenstein's a much better passer than those guys were. And I think he's a little bit more – he is a more skilled of an offensive game of Steven Adams because all Steven Adams, he could really only dunk.
Yeah, and Collison was offensively wasn't the greatest either. So I think, I would agree with that. Hey, one thing though, we talked about the Lakers a lot last few weeks, the Warriors, teams that could face the Thunder. The Minnesota stuff, here's the worry with Minnesota is if you look at NBA, a lot of times teams have to go through these growth stages. Right. And Minnesota last year, they made it to the Western Conference Finals. Their next step would be to make it again and win it.
And Jay, they also
They are a young team, but they got some experience farther deeper into the playoff.
No, that's the thing. They're just like the Thunder in the fact that they have youth with. I mean, they got Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert.
Conley's still draining through.
Old heads with young guys, which is what the Thunder have. Poncho Jack 19 says Thunder game was crazy. I won the last free tickets to the game. So grateful. Happy Easter, everyone. History was made today. Largest round one in history. And Boomer swept the top 15 and Stone. Yeah, it's a great day today. It was a great day.
What was the largest game in history? Do you know that answer?
Yeah,
I think it was 73.
58, I thought. I thought it was 58.
It was like Minneapolis versus St. Louis Hawks.
In playoffs. Yeah, playoffs, yes.
58 points, yes.
I actually think the Thunder owned the largest regular season. It was 73 against the Grizzlies.
Yeah, well, they lost. They were on the wrong end of that.
Yeah, on the wrong end of it. But
and I think that's crazy to think that 3 years ago that this team lost by 73 points to the Grizzlies, and now they're have a great chance to make the NBA Finals out of the West. But I do agree with what you guys have said that the Timberwolves probably the team you least want to face right now. I think with Anthony Edwards, man, he's just on another level, especially with the way he's hitting threes right now. And Naz Reid, he's a matchup nightmare because he's
Gobert.
Gobert doesn't concern me.
I'm just saying he's a big. Listen, he does not concern me offensively. But when the Thunder, AK last year against the Dallas Mavericks, when they have big guys and they stop the Thunder from getting in the lane and finishing at the rim, and it makes a pass to the three-pointer, you got to make your shots. That's all I'm saying.
And that's why I think if the Thunder were to face the Timberwolves, you might not see the double big starting lineup. You might see Chet just start due to the fact that Chet can
they're
out of the paint.
Jackson, they will roll with this starting lineup the rest of the way.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I think it depends on matchup. I do.
I do too.
Take your head all you want, Jeremy. I think it does.
If the Lakers are going to go small with no
Lakers
Jackson,
may not be around, Jackson.
I was just using an example. Okay.
Yeah.
But
hey, man, this has been fun. It is great to get the Thunder lives back. We will be doing a Thunder live. Listen very carefully. NIL commish, I did get your email. Thank you so much. I'm going to look into those. I want to say about the Thunder lives. We will be live every night that the Thunder play in the playoffs. However, we also have our normal 9:30 live, which we're getting ready to have in 30 minutes. We're going to talk Sooner stuff and David Stone all the time, I'm sure. Great day. But some of the Thunder lives won't be immediately following the game. They may be after our normal 9:30 live, like at 10:30 or 11 o'clock. That means late night Sooner Surge with Thunder. Thunder stuff. I can think of worse things. Hey, guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like before you leave. It helps our channel. Share to the Thunder fans that you know. Just because we're the Sooner Surge doesn't mean we don't talk NBA and OKC. So share it with those around you who love the Thunder. Appreciate everyone for joining in, for the callers. Thanks so much. We'll catch you on Tuesday night.